I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, I can't remember your name, for there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 la. Hello friends, Dave here for Brighton & Hove Guitar Lessons. Today we're looking at America, Horse with No Name. This is the perfect song to get started with if you're a beginner player because it only needs 2 chords. That's it, not 1, not 3, 2 chords. And those chords are actually quite straightforward to play as well. So an excellent place to start on the guitar. I teach this first to most students of mine. So if you're ready to get stuck into it, grab your guitar and let's do this. Right, so America, Horse with No Name. The chords we use are E minor. This one's got a funny name, D69/F sharp. Don't worry about that though, because basically we want to think about it as E minor, and then we're just making a variation. We're making a little step out to have something that's kind of not E minor. That's how I would teach it to most beginners, because D69/F sharp is not a chord that comes up all that often. So if you have a very limited pool of chords at the beginning, you know, 2 or 3 chords that you want to be remembering, I wouldn't make this one of them. It's not going to come up very often, okay? So E minor is the one you want to get in the old brain box. Get it stuck in there. E minor, this bad boy. When we're doing the D69/F sharp, we're just going to step out from E minor like that. And those are the only 2 chords in the whole song. So let's take a more detailed look at E minor. When people play E minor, they either use the middle 2 fingers, like they do in rock hands, like that, or some people prefer to use the first 2 fingers. Neither is more correct than the other. However, I'd say if you find them equally easy, I would use the middle 2 fingers, because that means when you play E major, which looks like that, you have another finger ready to just do that. Whereas if you learn with these 2 fingers, you have to re-fret the entire chord to play E major, because it's not so easy, okay? So I would learn with the middle 2 fingers if both are equally easy. However, if you prefer it like that, do it like that. It's no big deal. Right, E minor. We're doing open E string. We're fretting with whichever finger we prefer, the 2nd fret on the A string, the 2nd fret on the D string. We have an open G string, open B string, open top E string, like that. If you haven't remembered the names of the strings yet, or you haven't even bothered trying to learn them yet, don't worry about that. I will always name the strings kind of in order, or if I break that order for any reason, I'll make it clear why. And I'm just naming them as we go through to show, and you can hear them as well. Okay, I'm just going through in order to show you that I'm only fretting those 2 notes and everything else is playing open. When we change to the other chord, the D69/F sharp, we're going to move out from the E minor like that and like that. So now we're fretting the 2nd fret on the low E string. We are either allowing this to ring out, the A string, or we're letting our finger collapse to mute it. Both are fine, because we've got an open D string. This finger is now fretting 2nd fret on the G string, which actually gives us the note of A. That would be the same note as this open A string if it was ringing out. So we don't need 2 of them. We can just have this one. That's fine. We've got an open B, open B, and an open top E. Okay, so that chord sounds like this. If you are really good at playing on your fingertips, you can stand this finger up, this middle finger here, so that you can hear the open A string as well. It won't make any real difference to the body of the chord. Just sound like that. That's if I mute it, it makes no odds. We've got an A in there. That's what counts. So those are the 2 chords, E minor, D69/F sharp. The /F sharp bit just means that it's a D chord, but it's got an F sharp in the bass, which is this note here. If you're interested, just to let you know, just for fun. Right, so once we've got those two chords under our belt, we're going to need to be able to change between them. So the first thing that I would set most beginners to do is an exercise called chord changes in a minute. It's very, very straightforward. It does exactly what it says on the tin. I would use a pen and paper if you want to. It certainly makes it work better in my opinion, my experience. So you would probably do 3 sets of this, get a stopwatch, simply strum the first chord and see how many times you can change between the 2 chords in a 1 minute period. Okay, if you do 3 sets of it, you'll probably find that during the first set you do, I don't know, 6. During the second set you might do nearly 12, and by the third set you'll have done so many practice repetitions that actually you'll probably be doing quite a few more. So obviously you'll be able to see your progress, and it only takes 3 minutes. This is good. Couple of notes on changing between the chords. So when you start off, you probably just want to strum your E minor, and then you want to have 3 steps. So step 1 would be stepping out with this finger onto the G string. Step 2 would be stepping out onto the low E string, or you could do those steps the other way around if you prefer like that. Doesn't make any odds. And then step 3 would be the strum, right? So you put your timer on, you go 1, 2, strum, 1, 2, strum, 1, 2, strum. Once you've done a few repetitions, try to turn that into 2 steps instead of 3 steps. So then it will be like you're jumping into that. As opposed to 1, 2, you're going like your hand is a little tiny dancer. Don't start singing Tiny Dancer. Don't do it. Right, E minor, jump out, D6/9/F sharp, back. So we want to turn this into 2 steps, so then it's 1, 2, 1, 2, and eventually obviously you want it to be 1 step, so it's. But don't blow your hand-eye coordination all at once, build up to it instead. Once you've gone through all of that, you need to be able to bring in the strummer over here. So let's talk about the strumming pattern. Now, I want to just preface this by saying I don't really agree with teaching strumming patterns to like microscopic detail, because basically in my experience nobody really plays like that. When we strum, it's quite a subconscious thing. We just strum the guitar and we don't really think about it. That being said, as a beginner, it's not terribly helpful for me to just say, just strum the guitar, don't really think about it. So I'm going to give you a fixed strumming pattern and just say, this is what you should play. But if you want to like veer off course wildly, feel free to veer off course wildly and do something else that sounds good to you. Basically, you should just treat this, learning this song, as an opportunity to get a song under your belt and then move on to another one. That's what I recommend. So this is the strumming pattern that I have set for the lesson, and it goes like this. So we're going to look at it in 2 sections. First, let's look at the E minor pattern. Right. So I'm going to slow that right down. Okay, so if you've never learned anything about beats of the bar or rhythms or how to break beats into subdivisions or anything like that, that's fine. I'm going to give you a very, very brief crash course. This song has 4 beats in the bar, right? So what that means is that the phrases are broken into groupings of 4 beats. So for example, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. The strumming pattern that I'm doing is on beats 1 and 3. I'm just hitting a straight down strum. On beats 2 and 4, I'm hitting down up. And the way this basically works is that the straight down strum has the value of 1 whole beat. Okay, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, the down up strums on beats 2 and 4 are what we call eighth notes. So I'm strumming down on the beginning of beat 2, and I'm strumming up on the space between beat 2 and beat 3. So we count that as 2 and. So I'll try and give you another example. I'm going to use my handy metronome. So this is a 60 BPM metronome, right? So we have the clicks, 2, 3, 4, right? So I can strum down on the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can strum off the beat like this, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or I can do both like this, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm really sorry if that was a really horrible piercing sound because it's coming through the mic. It probably was, but I've turned it off now. It's okay, don't panic. Right, so when we're talking about strumming patterns, we have to at least be able to understand that there's some basic beat divisions going on, okay? So that strumming pattern, I'm just strumming 1, 2 and, 3, 4 and. Okay, so once again that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and, like that. Now, you will probably find that you need to build up to that. One of the biggest mistakes that I see beginners make all the time is that they just go, oh right, yeah, okay, I'll just do that, and then they just go, ah. Right, so instead of kind of throwing yourself at that challenge and enduring kind of not being able to do it, and no one likes that feeling, instead break it down into 4 sub-challenges. So the first challenge is just hit beat 1 of the bar, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then do it twice more. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2. Then add the next bit. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Then you add the next bit. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then of course you add the next bit, and then you've got a whole bar. Good for you. Well done. That's perseverance. You rock. Then you need to look at the next bar separately. So we change to the D69/F sharp chord, and it's a slightly different pattern. So the pattern we're looking at here is like this. Okay. Now you're probably going to notice that when I change the chord, I change it over that. It's okay. That's kind of part of the charm with a lot of guitar songs, is that sometimes the change happens during the strumming. We're not hitting anything that sounds bad, so I'm not going to overthink that, but if you've noticed that, that's fine. Don't worry about that. So the strumming pattern here, we're doing 1, we're just hitting a downbeat just like before, then we're immediately hitting the 1 and. Where it gets a bit complicated is we're not going to hit 2, we're going to hit 2 and. So just that section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, I'm going to do that really slow because this is the bit that makes people go, what is this witchcraft? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so just think about missing that down strum. You hit the first down strum, you hit the first up strum, you miss the next down strum, and you hit the up strum. So again, build it up, do the first one, then the first one and the second one, and then you just need to add another miss the down and hit the up. So that's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so get to that, and then all you're sticking on the end is a 4 and if you want to start changing during that, 4 and 1 back to the E minor, that is fine. Okay, so probably a good idea to stop the video at this point, just consolidate all of that. So just get at least a vague idea of the strumming pattern. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at how to build it up to the speed of the song. It won't take too long. Let's do that now. Okay, so I've already talked about how to break down the strumming pattern. So what you want to do now is you want to build it up either into the whole thing or all together. So I'm going to start with just the first beat. I'm going to build it up like that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now we'll add the next bit. Next bit. Next bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we're going to look at the second bar, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now we'll add the next bit, so we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we'll add the next bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I missed it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3. Now we'll add the next bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1. Now we'll add the next bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we have to leave a gap, right? Then we do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And okay, so you'll have noticed that when you fill up the bar, you either have to leave a gap or you have to loop it around. So because I'm assuming that you're a beginner or you're a near beginner, I've not looped it around because it's really difficult for you if I loop it around. So instead, it's good just to fill up a bar and do that pattern and then just wait and then count yourself back in and do it again. When you're working on the what I would call the seam between the two sections, so what you're doing there is you finish the bar and then you have to get back into the next bit. So to do that, you might go to the end of the bar and then just hit the first bit of the next bar. So that would be like this. Like that. Okay, you do a few of those. Okay, and then you try and add a bit more. Like that. That basically covers everything. The only thing you need to do now is speed it up using the metronome. So what I was doing there was 60 BPM. The track is like at about 120, 125. So you can download a free metronome on basically any smartphone. It's spelled metronome. And basically what you want to do is just do exactly what we did there. Just put all the strums on the right beats starting at about 60 and then just add 10 BPM and just keep doing that until you get it up to about 120. Okay, I hope that was really helpful for you. If you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments below. It was a really good fun song to play and I hope you enjoy playing it at home. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dave for B&H Guitar Lessons. Bye.